good-looking dudes! And welcome to our next project. This will be kind of an intermission playthrough, since we've just wrapped up Metroid Dread before we go on and tackle something else. So have some fun, sit back, relax, grab some sody pop. We're gonna have a nice, chill, relaxing session of my favorite classic Mega Man game, Mega Man 7. And this is a game that we both unanimously decided on because, unlike Metroid, Dylan actually does like Mega Man. So, woo!
I don't hate Metroid, but I just don't like it.
But you do love Mega Man.
I like Mega Man, yeah.
Okay. And that's completely okay with
me.
So, yeah, I do love Mega Man 7. It's one of those games where I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did, but I couldn't just stop coming back to it for some reason. And there's this game's got a lot of weird charm to it. Like, I definitely feel like the people who do hate it, it's very, very overstated. And I feel like this game's got its own unique strengths. It kind of feels like, to me, how Mega Man X1 is to Mega Man X as a whole. It's kind of like that game that's simple, clean, but does enough to where it plays around with a few cool ideas.
For their master.
And, well, I guess I'll go into more detail as we dive deeper into this playthrough. But yeah, Dr. Wily is back. He's bringing on the rampage.
Look at the hair, dude. That's so 80s.
It is very, well, more like it's very 90s,
yeah.
if I'm being honest with you. But, yeah, I'm not going to be marathoning the entire franchise, because I feel like everybody and their mom has done it on YouTube by now. So I'm mostly just going to be sticking with the games I enjoy. So I'll probably be playing, like, half of the classic, half of the X, and, like, I don't know, maybe a few others. I might even throw in a few bad ones, because why not?
Wow, this game's 26 years old.
Shit. It's just 2 years younger than I am.
It's
so.
as old as me.
Yeah, you were born in 95,
yeah.
weren't you? Oh, man, this was the game.
Oh, yeah, I have played this one.
This is the game you were born for, Dylan.
Is it really? Well, hand me the controller, fool. Watch them show me my Mega Man strats, dude.
Yeah. And this is the only bad part of Mega Man... Well, the only
intro.
real... Yeah, it takes so fucking long, and it's not
Yeah.
like the localization is anything to write home about either, so
what
it's
do you
like...
mean?
I mean, I like the cool little, like, joke they like to play here with the Met hat and all, but man, when you're replaying this game as much as I do, and you gotta sit through like 5 minutes of this, it's like the dialogue scroll is so fucking slow. God damn it.
It's okay. It'll get where it's going.
Also, I do want to mention that I am playing in full screen for the Legacy Collection too. I know some people aren't a fan of that, but I feel like this is the best way I can accommodate for filling up the whole screen for my capture device. And if you guys don't like that, then I would shut off this playthrough, because this is how I play my Mega Man games through my Legacy Collection. Thank you very much. So what is your experience with Mega Man as a whole?
I think that my experience is that the professor's hairdo looks nice, dude.
He does have...
He honestly looks like he looks like in the wintertime that he takes a job at the mall as Santa Claus.
I mean, you're not the first person to say a Santa Claus joke about Dr. Light.
No,
I feel like everybody has made a joke about that at least once in their lives.
But he's good looking. Looks like he's missing his front teeth.
Could just be, you know, graphical limitations. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I got a buddy who lost his front teeth. My experience with Mega Man, I got it when I was a kid. I was like, this is cool. That was it.
You played the anniversary.
Yeah, I played the anniversary on the GameCube.
That was my experience too, but I also played 2 and 3 on the NES before I got exposed to the rest of them. And Man, let me tell you, remember how bad the anniversary edition of this was for 7 and 8 specifically?
Yeah.
Like, it had, like, the anniversary
Well, that's
edition...
the only version I played of it.
Like, the anniversary edition already had bad, like, audio balancing issues, and, like, they even removed, like, the ending for 7. Like, when you go and you watch the credits, you don't even have the cutscenes for it play out. It's just an empty black screen with text.
That's what's up.
And even the music itself is like butchered for like stages like Freeze Man and whatnot. It's a very bad.
That dog is definitely part wolf and also part robot.
Their names are bass and treble.
Yep.
A very obvious musical pun because this franchise really loves its musical puns.
He ain't trying to cause no trouble. Bass.
Alright. And I just woke up too. And we're sitting down playing a good old session of Mega Man 7. So I'm going to be going in the order of which it gets me all of the upgrades faster. I'm going for 100%, but I also don't want to do any backtracking. And luckily for us, if you know the game inside and out like I do, then you can go through the whole game normally without having to revisit any stages. So for that matter, and they probably did this on purpose, we're starting with Freeze Man, which happens to be the hardest of the 4, but he's the one we have to go with if we want to get everything faster.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. You said you like Mega Man 7? You said you did recognize
I like
it. Okay.
I like it. For sure. I love this little bear.
I think this is honestly like incredibly well detailed.
The sprites are very nice.
I know a lot of people shit on like the large sprite sizes for Mega Man 7, and like I guess in some ways it does kind of interfere with the platforming a little bit, but I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. I really think it only interferes with like maybe 2 or 3 segments. Even then, you have your own little workarounds like the rush adapter and whatnot, which shouldn't be a solution, but it's a solution nonetheless. It's like I do recognize that Mega Man 7 has its own flaws, and I do think that even games like, say, Mega Man's like 9, 11, and 4 are probably better on paper than Mega Man 7 is, but
I like the Robo Dinosaur in the back.
But it's like, I don't know. This game's got its own like weird little quirks that appeal to me and probably me only.
Okay, in the middle, quick question: were there dinosaurs in the Mega Man world, like before human beings?
That's I don't even think that's like an actual
It's
dinosaur.
a robot dinosaur.
Yeah.
Do they have robot dinosaurs? And they also have helixes.
I don't know, like, the whole race of beings that live in the Mega Man universe don't seem to make a whole lot of sense in that regard either, because, like, the series says it has humans, but you never really see them outside of, like, Dr. Light.
Yeah, dude. You don't think there's a picture of, like, Mega Man riding a dinosaur like his great-grandfather?
Good question.
Nice jump.
Yeah, very nice jump. In all fairness, that wasn't meant to be backtracked through, but getting this one part's kind of annoying because of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally a SNES game with the water.
But I feel like the graphical style is very unique compared to a lot of like other NES, like SNES
What is it
games.
called that the programming they use for the SNES? To have the moving background.
A parallax scrolling?
No, it's got a name to it. Like, Castlevania's got that too. Like the 1-4, it's got the screen that moves.
The background?
Yeah, the background.
That's parallax scrolling.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is totally a SNES game.
But I feel like, like the graphical style as a whole, it kind of really brings out like the colors, and like you were talking about in Metroid Dread, how you really like those colors.
Yeah.
Well, this
Yeah, it pops.
This is a really colorful game.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't mean to sound biased, but I do think Mega Man 7 is a pretty game.
It's good looking.
It's a pretty good looking game. And I don't know, like, at least Mega Man's physics kind of accommodate for, like, the tighter space, because he does kind of have a bit of floatiness to him, but, like, as long as it's not too floaty, I guess it's not too big of an issue, and it kind of makes it easier to lead your shots, too, when you think about it. There's, like, 1,000 different nitpicks you can probably come up with when it comes to Mega Man's, like, general, like, control feel, or whatever you want to call it, but, like, I don't know if I want to call it nostalgia, because, like, I didn't come to appreciate Mega Man 7 until a lot more until, like, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I think. But,
the
like,
game's just a game.
I guess you could call it a guilty pleasure. Even though I do think 7's still a solid game on paper. And I am sucking this game stick so hard right now.
Yeah, you are. I think that's, you know, when we pick our games, you're just gonna pick games where you suck the dick, are you?
Well, that's kind of how it goes, right? Like, you'll have more fun commentating over a game if you have a lot more to say about it.
Boom, boom.
And yeah, I figured I'd do something shorter. Like, the general plan is that we're trying to do, like, every time we finish a major project, we'll probably do, like, a minor one like this. We'll do, like, a small one in between, and then we'll jump to the next big project. So, if you guys want to know our pattern.
What would you say yours was, the next one?
What was my favorite
project? Yeah, like, I'm doing Pokemon.
Pokemon Fire Red or Leaf Green, whatever it is.
Yeah, one of those.
But you said what was I going to do?
Yeah.
Well, funny you mentioned that, Dylan. We could always just save it for whenever we get to that point.
Alright, cool.
Keep this audience in suspense, and if they like, comment, and subscribe, they can see this nice and lovely project that we have in store for them.
Yeah, good point.
Gotta keep them in the know-how.
Boom, 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 boom. Nice. Get that head, dude.
If I had a rush coil, I probably would. And I thought I butchered that, but I sure didn't. Good lord. Man. Feels good to be playing another Mega Man game again. I haven't actually gone back and replayed a Mega Man game in a hot minute, because I've been going through a lot of different, like, games and trying to finish that stuff up. Yeah. But, man, Mega Man's definitely, like, one of those franchises that if I had the list off the top of my head, like, games I've probably replayed the most, like, you know, just Mega Man as a whole is probably up there.
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably my second favorite game series, right next to Metroid. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess you could argue that it's not that innovative, but I feel like the core of Mega Man is so good, it just lends it.
It doesn't have to be innovative. It's an old platformer.
Like, it has a good core foundation, and I feel like that core foundation alone, where you pick the stages and you get different weapons and you get them in different orders and whatnot. Yeah. I just feel like it's such a strong foundation that, like, you don't have to change too much. It kind of, like, Capcom has more of the mentality behind their sequels, where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And, you know, for the most part, I think it works pretty well. Like, sometimes you don't have to do anything particularly fancy to, like, make your sequels better.
Yeah.
Even though 2 did kind of make a big leap for the franchise, you know, overall compared to the other ones. But I do feel like even in that different vein or whatever, like, 7's got its own unique strengths. Like, I wasn't a big fan of, like, 5 and 6. Well, I mean, I think 5's okay or whatever, but, like, one of the things I never did understand is how we didn't end up with more, you know, SNES classic Mega Man games. I feel like we could have used a lot more of those instead of, Capcom sticking with the NES for like.
Yeah, that's true. They kept putting it on the NES.
I know, like right until the very
that
end.
was the Wild West, though. You know what I mean? Like they had a fan base on the NES. That's what they thought of it as. So why would they go to the SNES?
Well, no, like I think what it is when you think about it is that like this was before people knew how to get hype for new consoles, because like what was before the NES with the fucking Atari or whatever, like the mentality behind like what you look forward to in gaming was different because gaming was still very, very new. So like I feel like the SNES was like and like the
they looked at it and they said they got a user market for Mega Man on the NES, so why would they go to the SNES?
Well, actually no, I think
that's what it is.
I think what it is that the Genesis and like the Genesis and the TurboGrafx 16, they both came out before the SNES, but they didn't really catch on yet because people were still comfortable with their NES. And like we didn't have that kind of hype for new consoles and what to expect yet until like it settled in, and games were starting to become more of a serious medium to take seriously. And like I guess that was Capcom's like mentality behind it. They didn't want to chance it on in case the 16-bit era like didn't really take off.
It's because the people who bought Mega Man games, they already had an NES, so they were playing it safe.
I suppose, but I do feel like they should have stopped after 4, like putting like games on the NES or whatever.
It worked good for Mega Man though,
they're some of the best. They're the best NES games you can play. No questions asked.
But they had this like habit of like reusing
assets because like Mega Man's like one of the few franchises.
No, they were just doing that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
it was easier. And also, they knew that all the people who liked Mega Man had an NES, so they put it on the NES. That's really all it is, Ken.
Right.
That's 2 solid reasons for.
But what they probably didn't expect to see is that the sales after like 4 and onwards really plummeted.
Yeah.
But that could also be another factor for a bunch of different things like marketing. Capcom's been is a company notorious for their poor marketing. And Mega Man just happens to be another casualty of that, where Mega Man hit it strong, like, once with, like, 2 and 3, and then Capcom got too comfortable and didn't, like, try to capitalize on that success even more. The X series kind of suffered the same fate.
I just don't like how mad he looks. Look at him. He looks like he's about to pop a vein.
Yeah, when you think about it, the tone of 7 feels pretty different, too.
Why can't he just be smiling?
But like you have a good point, because like the classic games have been known to be more lighthearted and Saturday morning cartoon-esque. But I feel like since this game came out directly after X1 and it set a new precedence for creating different possibilities of expanding the Mega Man universe, they figured, hey, let's try it with Mega Man 7, and it definitely works to varying degrees of success, and that's probably why they didn't stick with that mentality going into 8. And that mentality certainly didn't work for 8.
You're halfway through the game already.
Oh, there's 4 more Robot Masters after this.
You're almost halfway done.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Cloud Man.
Now,
I was telling you earlier. So guys, my job is drug testing me. So I haven't smoked any marijuana since before this Let's Play channel started, actually. And I have grown a new obsession with cranberry juice, dude. Like, I can mix it with anything. I mix it with my apple juice. I mix it with my drinks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I drink it over apple juice. I don't know what it is. Like, I've developed this love for
You
the
sound
juice.
like, this kind of reminds me of, like, I have this same mentality, too, because I was a kid who also had things taken away from them. Well, like, I know this isn't alcohol or whatever,
kid.
but, like, listen, just pay attention to it for a second, because this is definitely going to feel relatable.
Okay.
So, like, I was the kind of kid who had his video games taken away from him if I didn't have the best looking report cards. Like, say if I got 1 C on my report card, it was enough to, like, I had strict parents, but
I remember. Let me tell you something.
But like, no,
I never got all passing grades in school. One time I got all C's, and my mom bought me a skateboard.
Cool. Hey, I was the kind of person.
Like,
I only ever out of high school, middle school, elementary, I only made 1D for 9 weeks worth, and it was in geometry in 10th grade.
My mom straight up told me when I was a kid that until I reached high school, she basically was proud of me for getting C's because she thought I was special.
Oh. Is this why you think you're special?
No, I don't think. Well, everybody's special, Ken. But
everybody's special in their own weird way.
No, my mom. Until I went to high school, and I scored really well in the FCAT in science. My mom thought I was special.
Oh, that kind of special.
Yeah, okay. like I couldn't do anything.
But going back to the, I had a real video game obsession when I was a kid, far more than now, and if I got my video games taken away from me, then I'd just obsess with something else. Like I know two separate situations where. Like, if I had my video games taken away from me, I started getting very Star Wars obsessive. And then another obsession, I think this is the first time I've probably told you this.
What?
But I got super into photography.
Photography's fun.
I got way into photography. Probably more than I should have. I was, the weird kid in middle school who would just take pictures in almost every situation. I had a camera with me everywhere I went because,
Yeah.
I would. That was just how I was. I'd find something new to obsess over, and that's I guess
really,
part
dude.
of who I was, growing up.
I think a lot of kids we obsess. Like I said, skateboarding. I used to love skateboarding.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was the kid who was always breaking himself.
Yeah. They even put me on the yearbook club for middle school, so that's something.
Yeah.
And most of my pictures made it into the yearbook. It's funny. I don't think I told you about that.
Yeah.
Have I? Yeah. But another thing I'm doing for this run is that I am not using weaknesses for the Robot Masters outside of the final boss because the final boss is
I was just playing guitar.
notorious.
I just play guitar now.
Nice.
So I guess nothing really changed. I talked to homies.
You just found a new obsession.
No, I kept the same obsession.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I went from skateboarding and breaking all my bones to playing guitar, and that was it. I didn't really have many obsessions.
Yeah. Well, it's more like
let's play to a skateboard. Could you skateboard, dude?
Not really.
You can't, dude. What if I show you the skateboard and we have a whole we have a whole show where we're on a camera on our skateboards.
The point I was trying to make is that I would be fixated on one major thing, and that was my strength and weakness right there.
A lot of people are like that.
But no, what I was saying about the bosses.
He likes LSU.
Yeah, let's go Tigers. But no, I was gonna say I'm using the Buster for all of the bosses because I'm the kind of weirdo who doesn't find bosses fun when you use the weaknesses.
Oh, that's not LSU. That's not purple. The lighting tricked me.
It's still a good color.
Yeah.
It's still a good color.
Oh, football. What's your team, dude?
Gators.
Gators. You remember back when Tim Tebow cried?
Oh, yeah. it was the very last game of his college football career,
and he lost, even though, he won everything.
No.
He lost one. I guess he wanted that perfect score, did he?
Well, he's a legendary player, dude.
Tim Tebow was... I don't know. Tim Tebow was so much better in the college league.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I feel like that... He kind of got himself wrapped up in the politics of it, pretty badly, because, Tim Tebow was a Christian.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the people who run, the college football stuff behind the scenes or whatever. They don't really like that all that much. So they kind of try to paint like a bad narrative for him and make him look worse than he actually is.
There's a lot of Christians in football.
Oh yeah, but Tim Tebow was very openly Christian, and
oh, so he wouldn't shut up about it. Well, that's the thing about everything. If you don't shut up about anything, then everyone's gonna hate you.
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. For me personally, like, as long as you don't, like, try to, like, make it to where you force it onto somebody, then, like, I don't care what religion you are, you do you. But I don't believe in religion bashing. Religion bashing is one of the worst things you can do. In all honesty.
Religion bashing is one of the most historical sports in this whole world, though.
Yeah.
People have been doing it since...
I don't care if you're Catholic. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care if you're Jehovah's Witness. You can't try to put yourself on a pedestal and make you look like you're a better religion than the other person.
Well, do you ever, you read about the history of Christianity, about the 12 tribes? You know about that? So there's 12 tribes in Israel. And one of those tribes became Hinduism, one of them became Judaism, one of them were the Muslims, and one of them were Christians. Out of the 12 tribes. So we all a lot of organized religion has their roots from the same place.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
That's pretty common knowledge. Yeah. I mean,
it's kind of crazy that we're like...
I mean, it's about as common knowledge about how all the languages spawn from like one place, and like because languages, for example, like they kind of have their own origin, and like they spawn from it, and kind of became their own thing.
Well, Christianity had this weird thing in the Bible with making up history, or we think it's making up, or we don't know. Like, the Tower of Babel. We don't really know if it was like
a real thing.
Yeah, and the Tower of Babel, right?
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, so everyone spoke the same language, and they were trying to make a tower to go to heaven, and God was like, "I don't like that. I'm gonna make y'all all talk different." That was it.
No ums or buts.
Yeah. But we know that's... I don't think that's really what happened. I think really what probably happened is people just moved farther away from each other. And honestly, military, if anything, is a big reason why languages are different.
Yeah. But wasn't it, like, historically proven that, like, the first, like, language we had before everything split off was, like, Hebrew?
No, it wasn't the first. But it was one of the first.
Kind of goes back to what we were saying before, where everything kind of had a starting point somewhere.
Yeah. Language is something that is naturally wired in our brains. So, like, tribes have always had languages. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah, because we have to communicate to each other, because we're a community type of... We always want a community. We're human beings.
Oh, yeah.
We need to communicate. So, language is as natural as anything, as breathing.
Rotating spheres. Very interesting choice of words. Even though they're literally just piles of junk, so...
Yeah.
Oh, Capcom, I love you and your silly English localizations.
Why does his eye color keep changing, too?
16-bit palette limitations, maybe?
Is it because he's a robot and, it's in his brain?
That's actually a pretty fun theory now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you've seen, the Smash trailer for Mega Man or whatever,
yeah.
right? Doesn't his eyes kind of change or whatever in that?
Yeah, I have this hot take about anime. Why is it that anime, everyone has to have skinny and they have to have hair?
Oh, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah,
everybody's got to be a nice, slender figure.
Everyone has to look beautiful. You know what I mean? Even him, he looks good for an old guy. He almost looks as good as our subscribers. He looks good. But,
he's got a little bit of meat on his bones.
No, there ain't nothing wrong with that. It's more cushion for the pushing, brother. But what I'm saying is like they always like. When's the last time you saw a premature bald anime character?
Um, what was One
or a
Punch Man?
fat girl.
Wasn't the main character?
Yeah, but like the thing One Punch Man made it comical. They're like he went bald because he worked himself to death.
He said he did like 100 push-ups a day or something like that.
Yeah, like literally like a good regime.
I love that too, because like everybody's expecting like some kind of like coming of like character like moment,
Christ stuff.
like because the kind of show off how he became how he is, and no, I think that was probably done on purpose, and it was great.
Yeah.
Oh hey, look, it's Clown Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I've always loved about most Mega Man games is definitely the boss fights. It's a lot of fun really getting down to patterns. Not all bosses are winners, of course, but I feel like one of the things I do love about 7 the most is definitely its more refined boss fights. As long as you're not abusing weaknesses, that is. Like, I'd say 7's bosses are infinitely more refined in the NES games, for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they still are flowcharty.
True, but it's a very satisfying flowchart. But you still have to adapt to some of them because they do have like changing like characteristics depending on what you have to do movement wise or whatever. Probably not wording that very well, but I'd say the Mega Man fans out there probably know what I mean. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're already halfway through the Robot Masters, and we will see you guys in the next video.
Later.
Later, Gator.